This is the Royals Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome in to the Royals Postcast, your go-to spot for live post-game reaction to every single Royals game this season. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and you can follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. That's right here in the name tag. If you can't make a show live, do not worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals Postcast your first listen of the day and your go-to spot for live reactions after Royals baseball. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you can get an alert whenever we go live. Thanks so much for joining the show. Feel free to join the live chat. Let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll do my best to get to some comments. Obviously, here a little bit later because I had to change the thumbnail, had to change the background, had to change everything on this video, and then Anthony Lorenzen hopping in my Twitter mentions. So we just had a crazy night tonight. Royals win 5-4. We were talking about back-to-back, almost nearing no-hitters for the Royals tonight, or in back-to-back nights. And instead, here we are. The Royals win a massive comeback win against the White Sox. A dreadful day for the offense. Let's not kid ourselves. The offense was dreadful, and it was a boring game to watch. I mean, that game was pacing for well under 2 hours in terms of length. I mean, that was going to be a very short game. The Royals end up plating 5 in the final 2 innings. And, last night we talked about, was that the worst loss of the season? Was this one of the best wins of the season? I don't want to say best wins, but maybe biggest wins of the season for the Royals. I'm not going to go that far, but a massive win for the Royals. Let's get into it. The 8th and 9th inning. That is what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Just a very big 8th inning. I thought it was lipstick on a pig. I mean, I will even put up the, I even had on the background right here where it says line keeps moving. That was supposed to say lipstick on a very ugly pig, because that's what the 8th inning was that's what the 8th inning was. The Royals managed 2 base runners throughout the first 7 innings of baseball. They didn't do anything worth a rip offensively for really the first entirety of the game. And then all of a sudden the 8th inning comes around and things start to go a little bit better. I mean, you see in the 8th inning, Jonathan India breaks a 5-inning hitless streak. They get a couple of guys over. Michael Garcia comes up and then kind of breaks the seal a little bit. A 2-run single, and that gets the Royals on the board. And that was, in my opinion, just if you're a Twitter fanatic like myself, the Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead down to 47. That was very much window dressing, if anything, for the Royals, or at least that's what I thought it was supposed to be. Then Bobby Witt Jr. gets out. Just another dreadful day for Bobby in clutch situations. I'm not saying he's not clutch. He's still one of the best players in baseball with runners in scoring position, but a pair of really bad at-bats tonight for Bobby Witt Jr. late in the game. But that ends the inning, and you're thinking, okay, Sam Long comes in. Here's the white flag being waved. Instead, the Royals get 3 up, or I think they gave up 1 base runner in the 8th inning. But they give up a runner. They scoreless. Bottom of the 8th inning, scoreless bottom of the 8th inning. And then the 9th inning rolls around, and give credit. The bottom of the order, I mean, Vinny was able to get on. You get a Vinny single, Salvi strikeout. Salvi's been god-awful here recently. I will say it. Salvi's been god-awful since the Freddie Fermin trade. I mean, the month of August has not treated him well, but that's beside the point. Salvi strikes out. Yaz gets a single up the middle. They started working the middle a little bit more in some big spots. And then you see all of a sudden, here comes the offense. I mean, the bottom of the order, which, give credit. I mean, we have talked about it ad nauseum this season. Too many times we have seen people talk about how Matt Quatrero pinch hits too much. He plays matchups too much. He'll platoon guys way too often. But tonight, man, it worked. The Royals get hits in the second half of the lineup from Mike Yastrzemski in the 9th inning. Jonathan India, who gets left in the game, gets a big knock to bring the runners into scoring position. He eventually scores. Michael Massey, who I didn't exactly love coming into the game for Nick Lofton, but as we've talked about with Nick Lofton, he's just not a clutch hitter. He is the opposite of clutch. And so you bring in Michael Massey, who traditionally, I mean, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow, as he should, because he's a guy that crushes the White Sox. He's an Illinois native, a Chicago native. He's a guy that crushes the White Sox. He gets a big 2-run single to tie the game. They were not able to get anything from Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier gets hit by a pitch, and then Tyler Tolbert, who started because of left-handed pitchers on the mound, Kyle Isbell comes in. And what does Izzy do? Izzy gets a go-ahead single into center field, and all of a sudden the Royals are on top 5-4. And it's a crazy turn of events because we didn't expect this team to be where they were. That was really a roller coaster of emotions. In all honesty, I really was going to come on here and say that the final, however many games, what are they, 67 or 68 and 65 right now? So that'd be, 49 games left, 39 games left. That would be the rest of the 39 are just an open tryout for 2026. Earn your spot for 2026. Instead, I don't think playoff hopes are alive. I don't think it's realistic to assume this team will be anywhere near the playoffs. I mean, looking at the scores right now, what did Seattle do today? I haven't checked the scores just yet. I'm trying to look for Seattle on the scoreboard, but I'm not seeing them anywhere. But that's beside the point. I don't. They're down 5-0 in the fourth to the Padres. But 29 left. Thank you, NMO. Royals just unable to do anything for the most part tonight. But I don't think they're a playoff team. I still don't think they're a playoff team. But man, at least they make it exciting. And I wouldn't even say they were exciting for the most part tonight. That was some dreadful, dreadful baseball to watch. I mean, getting carved up the entire game by a pretty mediocre lefty. I mean, Martin Perez has not been overly dominant throughout his season, and tonight was really, really good tonight. Give credit where credit's due. He's actually been solid this season, but Martin Perez tonight, sinker changeup really on. Sinker was in the zone a lot. Royals didn't really hit it hard. They didn't get very many hits tonight against Martin Perez. They only got the one, but this was a win of epic proportions. Maybe this is the cow prod in the rear end that'll turn the season around, but I'm not going to be buying stock in this Royals team until I see a more consistent approach from them, because at this point of the campaign, they are really just a streaky team that when they're hot, they're really hard to beat. When they are cold, folks, it's really, really hard to watch. So Royals pick up a massive win tonight. Michael Massey, Kyle Isbell play key roles in it. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the game, number one, I would have been like, well, they're not in the lineup, so that's a lie. And number two, I would have doubted you, because those guys have really just not done a whole lot for the Royals this season. And tip your cap to them. That was excellent, excellent baseball in the final 2 innings. And, we'll talk about the pitching here a little bit. Michael Lorenzen was unspectacular. The bullpen did its job, but man, a really, really big win for the Royals. And when we come back, we'll touch on the other side of the hill. We'll touch on the pitching for the Royals tonight. Michael Lorenzen, a little bit iffy, a little bit concerning from Michael Lorenzen tonight. We'll talk about that and an elite outing from the bullpen tonight for the Royals. That's coming up next on the Royals Postcast. It is time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy gain. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without ever leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5, that is the word 5, FIVEHE, win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary, and this excludes the Masters tournament. This ends October 31st, 2025. So fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. And today, August 26th, is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you all deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Mine is Baker Mayfield. You can crown your champion in August. Today, I used my 50% profit boost on the Chiefs. I got them from 8-1 to 12-1, and I'd encourage you to do the same. Or you can parlay your division winner dark horses. You can visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. All right, let's talk Lorenzen. Fairly unimpressed by Michael Lorenzen tonight. This was an outing where they needed to get some length out of him and give credit where credit's due. The guys behind him, Carlos Estevez, Sam Long, Taylor Clark, John Schreiber, they did their job. But in a season where the Royals pitching staff, and I've gotten a lot of pushback from this for some reason, but you can tell there's serious fatigue in the Royals pitching staff from the fact that these guys just cannot go more than 90 or so pitches. They can't throw strikes for more than 5 innings. Maybe it's a talent thing, but I don't think that's the case. They did it earlier in the season. I think it's just a fatigue thing. And for where we're at with the Royals right now, they needed some length from Michael Lorenzen, and it looked like he was well on his way to doing just that. He goes through the first 5 innings in cruise control. I can't remember exactly how many pitches he had through 5, but it was like he was on pace to at least go through 7 or maybe even pitch into the 8th inning. Instead, the 6th inning, he gives up a 2 singles and a walk, and then John Schreiber has to come in, and all of a sudden 3 inherited runners come to score, even though Schreiber had stranded the last 10 inherited runners. Michael Lorenzen just wasn't great tonight, and this is back-to-back nights where the Royals pitchers just were not getting whiffs. 5 whiffs in total tonight from Lorenzen, 1 on the sinker, 1 on the cutter, 1 on the changeup, 1 on the curve, and none on the fastball. 1 on the slider as well. He only threw his 4-seamer 3 times tonight. It just didn't feel like he had overpowering stuff. I mean, when you look at the velocity from Lorenzen tonight, the sinker was down compared to the season-long average. Cutter was down, changeup down, curveball down, fastball significantly down. So you're seeing, maybe he's not, I don't want to say he's not 100% healthy. I don't think at this point of the season anybody is 100% healthy. But they needed some length out of him tonight, and they didn't get it. And give credit where credit's due. The bullpen, the JV bullpen came in and did their job to a T. But that outing Lorenzen had tonight, he had those 6 punch outs tonight, a solid outing from a statistical standpoint. But before that 6th inning, it felt like you were going to get a much better outing out of him. And he left you, with a taste in your mouth that left you wanting a little bit more. And that's the disappointing part with what we saw from Lorenzen. It's what we've seen from Noah Cameron, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo this season. Every time they get to that 6th inning, that second time, third time through the order, they just leave you wanting more. It's disappointing to see this is where they're at as a pitching staff right now, where they just cannot get out of their own way. They can't fill up the strike zone. They can't get guys out on their own. I've had issues with this pitching staff. I went through and I looked. The Royals, since Chris Bubich went down with an injury, remember, Cole Reagans hasn't pitched since then either. Those are their 2 strikeout guys. And since then, their starting pitchers have the 3rd worst strikeout rate in all of baseball. The 2 teams that have worse strikeout rates are the Colorado Rockies and the Washington Nationals. 2 teams that I don't think the Royals want to accompany at all this season. So for them to, make that next step, to put that next step up, they really just need a guy that can, maybe it's Cole Reagans, maybe it's Chris Bubich, and I think Ryan Bergert can be that guy as well. But they need to to get guys out on their own a little bit more. They need a guy with some overpowering stuff, a guy that can, make pitches in big spots. They just don't have that on the staff right now. Even Seth Lugo, while he did have some decent strikeout numbers at times last year, he's not a strikeout pitcher whatsoever. So they really just needed guys that could come in and get guys out on their own. And I see people bringing up Stephen Kolek, who he's been a train wreck. He has been a total train wreck in Omaha. Bailey Falter was the opposite of what the Royals needed. And they just haven't gotten enough out of guys like Lorenzen and Lugo and those veterans on the pitching staff. They're just not getting enough in terms of innings workload out of that win. Out of those guys. So just a disappointing performance for Michael Lorenzen tonight. I didn't say pitched bad. And, I have, I don't know if it's his brother or his dad, Anthony Lorenzen, in my Twitter mention saying, well, he had 6 strikeouts, even though he only whiffed 5. I mean, yeah, good. He also gave up 4 runs and 7 hits in 5 innings and left the bullpen out to dry. So I wasn't really that impressed with Michael Lorenzen tonight. Expected more from him, but he just has not been great, especially in terms of length. Since coming back from the injured list. Maybe it's in the plan that he just will not be a length bulk starter for the season for the rest of the season, but then just need more out of him, in my opinion, if they even want to make the postseason. But give credit where credit's due. The rest of the bullpen. John Schreiber came in. He did give up those 3 inherited runners, but he was able to get out of the inning without giving up any extra damage. Taylor Clark, 1, 2, 3, 7. Sam Long, tip your cap to him. He had a shutout 8th inning. And then Carlos Estevez, man, I get your running shoes on because I'm about to take a victory lap. I had been on the Carlos Estevez bandwagon pretty much all season. I don't even know if I might have had, just something to defend myself because I have thought that Carlos Estevez had been really good all season long. He's got Greg Holland. He's got the Greg Holland a little bit where every time he comes in, you kind of, bite your fingernails a little bit. But guess what? Came in a 1-run game tonight, perfect 9th inning. And in terms of, the pitch count, in that 9th inning, Carlos Estevez, 16 pitches, fastball was up to 96 on average, 97 at its max. Guys, he has not given up a base runner tomorrow. If he pitches tomorrow, Carlos Estevez will not have given up a base runner in 2 weeks. He has not given up a base runner since the Washington outing. I don't know what more you want from him. He has been lights bleeping out. He has been so good this season, exactly what the Royals needed. And now, unless Robert Suarez picks up a save tonight for the for the Padres, Carlos Estevez will have the league lead with 35 saves and a 2.62 ERA. I don't think the Royals would be anywhere without Carlos Estevez this season. Who else would you rather have closing games? And do not say Lucas Erceg because nobody else would be able to throw the 8th inning. They wouldn't get to the 9th inning if it wasn't for Carlos Estevez being able to sit there. But man, that was a really, really nails outing from the entire bullpen. Tip your cap to them, Brian Sweeney, the entire pitching staff. That was a really big win for the Royals as they moved to 68 and 65. They could move to a game within a game of the wild card race as the Padres are winning 5-0 against the Mariners right now as we speak. But man, big win tonight for the Royals, 5-4. We appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. Tomorrow, same time, same place, or not same time. It just will be after the Royals game. We'll be back here tomorrow night. If you are new, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to keep doing this, this is the best place to come for instant reaction to Royals games. If you want opinionated takes and not just locker room audio, and we love Joel, we love Monty, we love that post-game show on the FanDuel Sports Network. It's great. But if you want to come and be a part of a great community and, continue to come and join us, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on our notifications because we want to see you here every single night. Not just after the Royals win, after they lose too, because everybody knows that this is the best therapy session here in the Midwest. So I appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. We will be back tomorrow night for another edition of the Royals Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network.